Harold Higher Gymnasium. We'll have the boys' game momentarily, but we want to wrap things up with our girls' game first as we welcome you back to the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support our local teams, and they're your trusted partner for all of your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit pioneerbankandtrust.com. So this afternoon, Rapid City Stevens improves to 13-4 on the season as they get the win over the Harrisburg Tigers by a score of 16-47. You know, Dean, the Raiders, again, our first quarter lead and really never looked back, and we saw just a lot of good things from the Raiders this afternoon.
Yes, absolutely. This is the Lady Raider team that you want to see night in and night out. They didn't shoot tremendously well by any means, but they shot efficiently. They played so hard play. Defense was on the top of their game tonight. That was, usually there's a lot of focus on that shooting, and sometimes that gets a lot more of the limelight. But today it was defense. Their defense was absolutely everywhere. They were everywhere you want to be. What is that, American Express, whatever that was? But they just absolutely just did a phenomenal job today, able to compete against a Harrisburg Tiger team. They said, I think they have the potential to be one of the better teams in the state. They're just not living up to it, unfortunately. I think they have the talent-wise anyway. And today, they kind of really shut them down early on. Some shots didn't fall, so we'll give them a few of those, but a lot of it was the fact that there was not much of a good look, especially in that first half. There just wasn't anything there. There was always a defender in their face, and they were able to just not convert anything. Turning things over wasn't horrible, but definitely could have been a lot better, and that's just because the Raiders get the win 60-47. They improved to 13-4 on the season in girls basketball action. And for Harrisburg, they dropped to 9-8 on the season. Let's take a look at today's box score brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's most innovative event center, featuring the best courts and space to host multiple games. The Box is really the premier youth sports venue and event. Visit thebox.live. For the visiting Harrisburg Tigers, led by Bren Van Bakern with 20 points. We had 8 this afternoon for Kinley Lawrenson, 5 points for Logan Derniel, also 5 points for Lincoln Tryon, 3 points for Jada Mason, 2 for Maya Johnson, and 4 off the bench this afternoon for Autumn Bryant. Looking at the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, 30 points from Talia Porter. As we look at the final stats here, Dean, did she get the double-double? No, she did not.
She did not.
She got 4 rebounds.
So 30 points, though, for Talia Porter, 7 points each for Jessica Griswold and Haydee Thornton. We had 5 points for Mackenzie Schreiber, 4 points for Brittany Jones, 2 points each for Hallie Peterson, Haley Falcon, and Marley Seyumanu Tafa, and 1 point for Finley Love. And Dean, some other stats there?
Well, just looking at, kind of the one that stood out in the first half was the shooting percentage. Obviously, Harrisburg did a much better job. Shot 41% in that second half. The Raiders only 38% in that second half. So made it a little bit closer, but that's probably the big one. 16 turnovers for Harrisburg in total, but they had 13 of those in the first half. So they really kind of made those halftime adjustments we talked about. They did their best to try to get the ball in the hands of Lawrenson, and they also cut those turnovers and were able to put together a much better half. But when you put yourself in such a huge hole like you alluded to here on the postgame show, you got to climb out of it. They beat them 34-31 in the second half, but you're in that hole, and it just takes so much to get out of it. And the Raiders are just so good defensively; they're not going to let you get out of that hole real easily.
So again, the Raiders get the win, 60-47 here this afternoon, and now they improve to 13-4 on the season. They have just 3 games remaining. Next week, the Raiders take on Rapid City Christian, which I think for the boys and girls teams, that might be the first I know they played St. Thomas More before, but it might be the first taking on Rapid City Christian in a varsity contest.
I know the girls took on a couple of years ago. A game got canceled, so they had to pick one up. So, like you said, St. Thomas More played the Lady Raiders a few years ago. And I know St. Thomas More played Central last year. That the Raiders and Cobblers would but not get as many points by playing a team in a class below them. They have eliminated that, quote, penalty, which they used to have. So I'm kind of anticipating that there might be more of those coming up down the road. If anything, I was thinking something like, I think Nate Brown even brought this up, have like a classic, like over the holiday or something, having Stevens and Central play, a Christian and St. Thomas More, and then flip days and have that all at the monument. Some kind of big thing like that happening. Just a thought of, but yeah, you're right. I don't think they've ever played each other as far as the Raiders and the Comets go.
And that game is next Friday night. Of course, the girls' game prior to the boys' game. We'll have both of those games for you right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. But again, it's a 60-47 win for Rapid City Stevens. Let's take a look at our Highmark highlight of the game, brought to you by Highmark Credit Union. Highmark offers Spirit debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. And then every time you use the card, Highmark makes a donation back to that school. Show your school spirit and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com. And this is our Highmark highlight of the game. Gives the ball to Van Bockeren. Van Bockeren around the screen of Mason, then the steal by Jones. Jones going coast to coast. She misses the layup. It is Love who keeps it alive. Out to Thornton for three, and it's good for Haiti Thornton.
Absolutely fantastic hustle by Van Bocker, and you could see her closing in right away. I think she got a piece of it, but how about the Raiders staying with it and being able to cash it in from downtown?
Raiders lead by 14, 20-6. Well, again, that three in the second quarter for Hayden Thornton. That's our highlight of the game. And before we switch gears real quickly, we'll go to Dean with our player of the game.
Well, obviously there was a lot, Porter, 30 points on the night. Just was absolutely dominant performance. But we talked about the depth of the Raiders. It allows them to play so hard defensively, and not get worn out because they can sub in all the time. Probably their number one player coming off of the bench is Hayden Thornton. 7 points. She only got one rebound, but she has such an impact and able to, she was 2 of 7 from downtown, so she is that quintessential Raider. Plays hard, plays good defense, can shoot the ball. They love her as a sixth man, whatever they call it, sixth player off of the bench. So coming in and making an impact, transferring over. How about the subline, going against her old team on Friday. That's for a later date. I think she did a great job, a great contribution, just adding to the weapons that the Raiders have.
So Hayden Thornton, our player of the game, as the Raiders get the win. And for those of you wondering about Talia Porter, she is now just 4 points away from tying and 5 points away from breaking Eric Piatowski's high school point total here at Stevens High School.
It's so close. It's going to be another reason
milestone
to show up. Hey, Friday's going to be great weather. Come on out and see the Raiders and Comets do some action. There's a milestone. There's other sub stories going on for that game. It's a good reason to come out and enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, we have to wrap things up so we can switch gears and head to our boys' game. So we will wrap things up in our Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show. Again, the final score in girls basketball: Rapid City Stevens defeats Harrisburg 60-47. The Raider girls now 13-4 on the season. This has been the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. We're back in 30 seconds with the pregame show for the boys' game.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
You're listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Physio.
And again, welcome back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium and Game 2 of our high school basketball doubleheader. The boys take to the court as the Rapid City Stevens Raiders meet the Harrisburg Tigers in this all-important late-season matchup. Hi, everyone, and thanks again for joining us. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Along with Dean Gurr, we want to welcome you to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J take the stress away and get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. So like we said, it's an important game for the Raiders this afternoon. Stevens lost yesterday to Yankton to drop to 7-8 overall and 12th in the AA standings. Meanwhile, the Harrisburg Tigers had their 9-game win streak snapped yesterday. It came to an end as they lost to the Central Cobblers in overtime. That put the Tigers at 13-3 and sitting fourth in the Class AA rankings. First off, Dean, let's start real quickly with the Raiders. They're in disbelief this afternoon as they lost a heartbreaker to Yankton last night when freshman Jackson Kudera hit a buzzer beater to give the Bucks the 47-44 win. The Raiders led by as many as 11 points in that contest, but they let that lead slip away. Yankton comes back, gets the win. Now you have to regroup and get ready for today.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And it's kind of one of the things that's kind of the enigma of it. The whole boys Raider program right now is just, I'm going to use the word enigma and use it nicely. At the end of that game, this happened in a previous game too. At the end of the game, they had an opportunity. The score's tied. They had no shot clock, got their timeout, drew up a play, dribbles down. The player just, he didn't dribble it off of his foot like they did last time, but this time the player just lost control of it. Players tried to battle to get after it. They couldn't, end up turning it over. And like you said, 2.7 seconds left, and you let a guy drive and get – it was a great looking shot, but he got to where he needed to. That just is kind of the epitome of what's going on with the Raiders boys right now. Can't get things together. They got tons of talent on the floor, but they can't play together as a team. They are so manic up and down. One night they're competing against the best. The next night they are struggling to just organize and play basketball in general. So that's just, it's been that way the whole season. I think it was that way last year, and I'm sure Coach Saber wants to pull his hair out, probably why he cuts his hair short. So he doesn't do something like that. He's like, what have I got to do to get these guys to play together consistently, night in and night out, finish baskets, finish plays, finish games?
And for their opponent today, the Harrisburg Tiger team, they lost for the first time all season to a team that had a record below 500 as they lost to the Central Cobblers yesterday in overtime. You can bet they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder this afternoon, and they're looking to head back to eastern South Dakota with at least one win this afternoon.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, they didn't play bad yesterday in general. Didn't shoot super well in the first quarter as much as they wanted to, but they didn't knock down the shots like they kind of have all season. They didn't take advantage of their decided advantage. They've got height, they've got athletes, they've got talent all over the place on this squad. Play hard as any team in the state, but just could not get the job done when they needed to. One player took over, Julie Strand, for Central in that overtime period, rather, and it kind of sunk them that way. And so they need to kind of regroup and just continue to play as hard as they do normally. Just don't take this team lightly.
And Dean, let's get to today's keys to the game, brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. You can find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Just take a look at their great selection of RVs at 2 locations. Dakota Discount RV across from Cabela's on JB Road in Blackhawk and DakotaDiscountRV.com.
Coach Scott Langerock for the Harrisburg Tigers said, we got to get through screens, we got to communicate defensively to contest all the perimeter shots. Limit to one shot and done, and we need to get touches in the paint offensively for the Raiders. They need to play together. We already talked, play together as a team. They need to communicate. They're up and down offensively, defensively, communicate really well and really take care of that basketball and finish at the rim.
And we'll get to our players to watch in just a moment. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups built by Connect Home Center and Ace Hardware. Whether it's residential or commercial, Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumberyard since 1928. And Ace Hardware. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. For the Harrisburg Tigers, they'll go with number 3, Caden Anderson, a 6-foot senior. Number 5, Isaiah Tapp, a 6'6" senior. Number 12, Nolan Krall, a 6'3" senior. Number 21, Stellan Larson, a 6'3" junior. And number 23, Aiden Costain, a 6'6" senior. Head coach is Scott Langrock for the Tigers. The tip controlled by the Raiders. We'll get to their starting lineup in just a moment as this game is underway. The Raiders in their light blue uniforms. They go to Segrist in the left corner. That shot is no good. It's a battle, or we're going to get a jump ball between Costain and Caleb Brooks.
Again, and that's what they need. The Raiders need to be able to use their athleticism to come in and battle.
Caden Anderson drives and puts it in for 2.
He started off so well yesterday for this Tiger team.
So after Minka Hawley, we have number 11, Daylor Segrist, a 6'3" senior. Number 20, Caleb Brooks. Caleb is a 6'2" senior. And number 25, Dylan Samansky, a 6'4" senior. Head coach in his 10th year is Chris Stabner for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. And that's a quick look at the starting lineup. Again, we'll look at our players to watch at our next. Costain puts up the shot. Costain, and he puts it in for 2.
Yeah, he can be such a matchup nightmare. He did a great job inside.
And the ball goes out of bounds, last touched by the Raiders. Let's meet our officials for this ball game. The law on the court brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's office.
No, and Tapp just absolutely lost the ball, and they're gonna say I didn't bounce it to him, so we're gonna get away with it. Sorry about that.
The law on the court brought to you by the South Dakota Attorney General's office, Division of Consumer Protection. There's a 3. That one is no good. Again, our officials for this ball game: Ellen Schmaltz, Brandon Kemp, and Jim Fugate.
Puts it in for 2. Now that type of thing, those types of plays are what they need. They're not going to get easy looks in the paint with this Harrisburg team, so they got to take advantage when they can.
Larson left side to Tap in the corner. Man-to-man defense. Now they go back to Larson. Larson puts up the shot. That one too hard off the glass, no good. Samansky the rebound. They go to Brooks, to Hawley in the front court. As the Raiders go from left to right.
They need him to continue to play well today.
Samansky with 8 points in yesterday's loss to Yankton. Again, it's 5-4 the Raiders with their first lead of this contest. Here's Costain. Cross-court pass to Krall in the right corner. That shot is no good. A battle for the rebound. The putback is no good. Hawley tried to get it, and it's into the hands. It's still no good. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Raider basketball.
Wow, Costain, 2-point blank shot that he missed it. How about Krall with that 3-point attempt over there? You cannot leave him wide open. They were so focused on the
baseline jumper for Segrist. That's no good. The ball was tapped to Tap. He'll get the ball to Krall in the front court.
You got to say that at least once a game.
At least once a game. Now Larson from the right corner. That 3 is no good. Segrist grabs the rebound. Segrist works his way into the front court. Right side to J.D. Green. Green directing traffic from the wing. Gets it out to Segrist. Segrist now to Brooks. Brooks to Hawley. Hawley to Samansky in the low post, and he's going to put it in for 2.
That's what they need. He's got a bigger guy in front of him, but he does a great job of sealing him off with his body and using his offhand.
Costain the basketball. Aiden Costain driving, putting up the shot. That's no good. The rebound to Samansky. They'll push the ball to Green in the front court for the Raiders. Green to Brooks, now to Hawley. Hawley being guarded by Tapp, gets it out to Green, over to Brooks on the right elbow. Brooks hands the ball to Segrist. Segrist along the baseline. Passes to Green. They're down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. Green to Brooks. Brooks splits the defenders, puts up the shot, hits the deck, and he is headed to the free throw line.
Brooks going right through 3 defenders that time. 3 of the biggest guys on the court, he's going after them.
That is going to be a number 12, Nolan Krall. His first team foul. Again, Kalen Brooks at the free throw line has 2 points in this contest. And are they saying Kalen Brooks does he have blood on
He's going to need a helmet after going through that pile of people. Does he have blood on his uniform?
Either his uniform or on his hand, or
so he gets. So he gets 20. They get 20 seconds to correct it. That's a new rule this year. They get 20 seconds to correct an injury, clean blood up, whatever it is, and they're not.
They're going to bring in Seth Paw, who's going to be shooting the free throws now for Kalen Brooks. Also, Creighton Gibbon and David Doe came in the ball game. So Paw makes the free throw. He just checks in the ball game, and they say, by the way, you're headed to the free throw line.
Yeah, here you go. No big deal, right? I'd run some sprints around for a little while, get myself in the mode.
Seth Paw makes both free throws. So after a slow start, the Raiders lead by 5 over the Harrisburg Tigers, 9-4. Here's Caden Anderson to Gibbon. Gibbon drives, passes the ball back to Tapp, now back to Gibbon, out front to Krall. Man-to-man defense by the Raiders. Anderson down low to Tapp in the post. Had the ball knocked out of his hands by the long arms there of Minka Hawley.
Well, the 2 long-arm players out there, Tapp and Hawley, and just it's how much reach can you get out there? Go, gadget arm.
Caden Anderson will trigger it in from the left baseline. Anderson gets the ball out to Gibbon. It was J.D. Green applying pressure. Gibbon right side to Doe. David Doe out to Anderson. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Doe. Doe in the paint. Puts up the shot. The sophomore could not put it in the basket. Here comes Paw at the other end. Paw out to Hawley. Hawley drives to the left baseline. The jumper no good. Doe grabs the rebound. He'll slow it down. It's David Doe, the 6'1 sophomore. They'll get it to Gibbon. Now back to Krall. Krall, left side to Doe. Now to Gibbon, top of the key, reverses it right side to Anderson. 5-point Raider lead. Anderson in the paint. Fadeaway jumper good for Caden Anderson. He has 4 points.
Okay, he was hot. Yep.
Here's a pass down low to Jess Christensen. Had his shot blocked. He had position, but it was blocked by Isaiah Tapp.
As we talked about, those long arms just comes up over the top, and it's hard to get over Christensen.
Here's Nolan Krall, the basketball. Right side, they go to Doe, now to Anderson. Anderson drives the right baseline, gets separation, puts up the jumper, makes it in for 2. 6 points for Anderson. Here's Christensen in the low post. This time, able to get position and bank it in for 2.
Much better job that time. I think he got Tapp on the other side of him, so he was able to make that move.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first, and the Raiders with a 3-point lead, 11-8. Here's David Doe for 3. That one is off the mark, a little too strong. J.D. Green the rebound, outlet pass to Segrist. They'll go to Hawley in the front court, driving the baseline. Spins, kicks it out to Green. Green shoots the 3. That one off the mark, no good. A battle for the rebound. It's going to be picked up by Krall. And then Segrist went for the steal. He is whistled for the foul.
They do that all the time. They try to time it and just try to undercut them. Usually it's more toward the basket, but this time right out in the middle of the floor. But if you reroute, cause them to change speed, change adjustments.
Here's Krall, right side to Anderson. Back to Miles Neor, who's checked in. David Doe drives the baseline, puts up the shot over Christensen and scores. 11-10. It's a 1-point Raider lead. Just a little over a minute to play here in the first. Brooks left side. This is Lucas Marcus who's in the ball game. Marcus to Segrist. Segrist wants to drive. Instead, gives it to Marcus. Down to 14 seconds on the shot clock. Brooks to Paw. Paw driving. The scoop shot is good. Wow. Seth Paw.
He even got the ball knocked out of his hand.
Right side. They go to Doe in that right corner. Back out front to Anderson. Caden Anderson around the screen. Drive, fadeaway jumper is short for Anderson. Brooks the rebound for the Raiders. The shot clock is off. The Raiders can... Taylor Segrist. Down to 8 seconds. The paw. Back to Segrist from the right corner. That shot is no good. A battle for the rebound. It's going to be Harrisburg basketball as it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's what the shot you want. Obviously, see the ball in Segrist's hands, shooting from the perimeter. We got a travel. He took off.
And they wave off that shot there as he did not get it off in time as well. So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, at the end of one, it is 13-10, the Raiders with the lead. We're going to keep it here. We won't go to break just for a moment because we want to take a look at our players to watch. We're already a quarter into the ball game, but today's players to watch are powered by the E3 Sports Complex. E3 is Rapid City's newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. Have your athlete unlock their full potential with expert training and coaching from the E3 trainers and coaches. Learn more and get your athlete started by visiting e3sports.org. Check out the E3 Sports Complex on East North Street in Rapid City. Obviously, like I said, Dean, we're 1 quarter in, but we've got 3 quarters of basketball. Who do we watch here in this ball game?
Well, it would be easy to pick the guys who are doing really well right now, but now we're going to go with a matchup. And we kind of already talked a little bit about it. For the Harrisburg Tigers, Alden Costain. He's big, he's physical. If he can dominate the paint, he will create havoc. And he's going to go up against Dalton Szymanski. And he had a decent game yesterday, just eight points. But the fact is, he gets in there, he battles for rebounds. He's their, quote, big guy. Kalen Brooks kind of tag-teaming with him, but he needs them inside. It's that matchup between those two.
And that's our players to watch, powered by the E3 Sports Complex. We jump back into this ball game now. Caleb Brooks drives as he hits the deck. Shot's no good. We're going to get a late whistle there by Jim Fugate. It looked like that they kind of pulled and they're calling that on Jess Christensen.
Yeah, so Brooks drove in. They kind of pulled the chair. He tried to get the lean in, and instead he fell. That's what caused that errant shot. And then Christensen, trying to battle afterwards, gets to the foul.
So a chance for Harrisburg to cut into this lead or perhaps tie. Here's Caden Anderson, top of the key. Again, as the Tigers go from right to left. If you're listening on radio, they go to Doe. Now they work it inside. The shot by Costain is blocked. I think Holly got a piece of it.
Yeah, he definitely did. Holly, he's good for 2 or 3 of those a game.
Holly left side to Brooks. Brooks top the key. Hands the ball to Pa. Pa back to Marcus, over to Brooks. They work it around the perimeter to Holly. Holly drives the right baseline, gets it down low to Christensen on a nice pass, and he gets his 4th point.
It was a great setup. They saw that Costain was going to roll over and double him, and then they'll leave a backdoor open.
15-10, the Raiders back up by 5. Here's Costain in the low post. Puts up the shot, had it blocked. The Raiders come away with it. Holly in the front court, the scoop shot, no good. Harrisburg Tigers come away with it. Caden Anderson works his way into the front court. Right corner, gets the ball to Neor. Now they work it left side to Gibbon for 3. That one off the mark, no good. And Harrisburg definitely not really shooting the ball like they did yesterday against the Cobblers.
Yeah, and they didn't shoot it incredible yesterday, but did a better job than they are right now.
Here's Pa, kicks it out to Holly. They go to Brooks, now back to Pa. He'll shoot the 3. And that one is good for Seth Pa. He has come into the ball game and been a spark for the Raiders.
Again, that's what they need, the addition of offense. And you'd be able to knock shots down from the perimeter. They don't take a lot of them.
Here's Costain. Right side, it's going to be Anderson for 3. That one off the mark. Holly gets the rebound. Outlet pass to Brooks. Again, it's an 8-point Raider lead with 5:48 to go. Here's Marcus, the basketball. Marcus trying to work it to Pa. The ball is loose. Finally picked up by Costain. They'll get it to Anderson. Now ahead into the front court to Doe. And it's going to be a blocking foul on Caleb Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks there. Doe hits the deck. And Joe trying to get around Brooks, and that's why Brooks got the foul for that, because he was clearly there, but if you're trying to get around him and you only catch part of him, they're going to call that on you on the block there. This is kind of where this pivotal moment for the Raiders right now, passing the ball fairly well, a couple of kind of iffy passes, but they kind of roll those in there a little bit, but their intensity level picked up. We'll talk about the intensity level yesterday. The Raiders are like the Cobblers. They just need to pick that level up and play to the level that the Tigers bring here today.
And Doe misses the free throw. He made one, missed the second. It's 18-11. Here's Szymanski in the low post. Szymanski puts up the shot over Costain. Shot no good. It was a nice move there. It was so close for Szymanski. I think he might even got poked in the eye. So now Harrisburg basketball. Costain over to Krall. Krall, fadeaway jumper is good for Nolan Krall, his first basket.
Well, he had paw on him, and that's a size disadvantage for the Raiders.
Here's Seth Paw to Holly. Holly out to Segrist, right side to Brooks. Brooks to Paw. Paw back to Brooks. Brooks gets in the paint, bounce pass to Szymanski, and the reverse is good for Dylan Szymanski.
Again, the Tigers, they want to guard the paint so much that they're forgetting about the back door.
Back to a 7-point Raider lead with 4:25 to go in the second. In the low post, Costain the basketball, backs his way in. Turnaround jumper is no good. The ball's tapped around. Segrist comes away with it. He'll push the ball in the front court. Segrist right side to Holly. Holly around the screen, back to Segrist. Segrist takes a step back, passes it out to Brooks. Brooks almost had it stolen. Gets the ball to Paw. Paw puts up the shot, and a wave off the basket for Seth Paw. And Coach Stabner probably did not like that. He was hoping that would count.
It did look like he was right in the middle, and I didn't see, depends on who they call the foul on, where it happened, because there was one kind of way up there. That must be where they called it. The second one, the tag defender came over and got him as well.
They're going to call that on Miles Neor. Ball's tapped around. Segrist keeps it alive. Segrist is going to shoot the three. That one is no good. Brooks the offensive rebound. Turnaround jumper, no good. But a whistle will send Caleb Brooks to the free throw line. Nice way that the Raiders are crashing the board.
Again, this is it. This is the Raider team that we like seeing. This is a team that battled against Jefferson. I can't think of all the other games that we've had where it looks like they're ready. They're just right in that game, and either they get the win or they don't get the win. Spearfish was one of them. Kind of fell apart in that last play of the game, but they battled all the way through that one.
They're making Caleb Brooks, making sure he tucks in.
Yep, got to tuck it all in.
The region coordinator gets all over us if we don't.
At Oz, he drives a tough squad, which is
imagine. And Brooks makes both free throws. He has 4 points now in the ball game. The Raiders with a 9-point lead, 22-13 over the Harrisburg Tigers. In Harrisburg coming in, they're the 4th-ranked team in Class AA. Here's Larson. Larson right side. Krall's going to launch the three, and it's nothing but net for Nolan Krall. He has 5 points.
Yeah, his game against T area, 6 of 7 from three-point land.
Seth Paw tries to answer at the other end. That three is no good. Larson, the rebound, and then a reach-in foul. That will be on J.D. Green, his first, team's third.
Back to Krall, 6 of 7 against T area in the first half. So you absolutely cannot leave him wide open. Struggled shooting from the perimeter yesterday, but that's not going to stay.
Here's Krall, right side to Caden Anderson. Anderson to the wing. Man-to-man defense by the Raiders. Krall back to Anderson. Anderson gets to the top of the key, dribbles right in front of the Raider bench. Down low to Isaiah Taft. Taft had lost the ball. Holly He will get the dunk at the other end as he throws it down.
Yeah, you need that big fire. He had one yesterday. You need one today. You got to get rolling with.
Here's the ball. It's going to be Kroll.
Coach Stabner's mad at the official. The ball got hit his leg. He's like, "You were out of bounds." He's like, "No, the ball stayed in bounds."
Mm-hmm. I was kind of wondering what Coach Stabner. Because he was talking to Jim Fugate about that.
Right, and what he's saying is, look, you're half in and half out. If the ball touches you, aren't you technically out of bounds like everyone else is? And that's actually a really good question. The ball just ricocheted. He's part of the floor. It just ricocheted back in.
When a foul, that was on Minka Hawley, his first. Well, good. Segrist the rebound. He'll push the ball in the front court for the Raiders. Left side to Green. Green out to Hawley. Hawley down low. Christensen posting up. Spins to his left. Nice shot. No good, though. The ball is tapped out. Christensen keeps it alive. Gets it to Hawley now. They go to Pa. Pa back to Green. Green out to Segrist. They'll reverse it. Left side. They get it to Hawley on the wing. Back to Pa. Here's Christensen in the low post.
Right again.
Again, puts up the shot and
Second
scores.
time's the charm there for Christensen. You can hear Stabner yelling, "Keep the ball moving. Keep the ball moving."
6 points now for Jess Christensen. And it's a 10-point Raider lead, 26-16, with just 90 seconds to play till halftime. Here's Kroll in the post. That shot in the air ball by Nolan Kroll. That's a rare shot.
I think they missed a travel over there by Kroll, but we're going to play on.
Here's Hawley, left side to Seth Pa on the wing. Pa gets the ball to Hawley, now to Segrist. He launches the three. It's no good. Caden Anderson chases down the loose ball. And here's Hawley who gets the steal. It's a 2-on-1. Pa gets the layup at the other end.
Great job, 2-on-1. Minka Hawley over to Pa. Pa's like, they're going to shade over to Hawley. I'm going to take it.
And that's 9 points now for Seth Pa. Here's Caden Anderson, top of the key, left side to Kroll. Bounce pass down low. They go to Tap. Not the Harrisburg team that we saw yesterday when they started out against the Cobblers.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. I'm surprised there wasn't a foul there on Stellan Larson. He's kind of hooking on to the Raider. But either way, yeah, and to be honest, it's got their shooting percentage. It even isn't that they're contested as much. They're just not falling right now for Harrisburg.
We have about a 4 second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. We're down to 18 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Segrist at midcourt, left side to Brooks. Brooks directing traffic, gets it back to Segrist. Segrist to Brooks. Brooks, bounce pass, backdoor pass to Hawley. He went for the dunk, and he was fouled, so he heads for to the charity stripe.
Just a great job that time. It was Hawley who basically ran the baseline. He swung over to the right side, and then as they moved the ball back to the left side, he came over. Great eye contact, great teamwork that time between him and Segrist, and getting it there. And he went right into the double team. This whole place would have erupted if he would have done a little poster shot.
Second one is good. He has 4 points. 7 seconds remaining. Caden Anderson in the first half gets into the front court, drives, puts up the shot, no good. And it's JD, or is that
Green?
Number 12, so that's going to be Dylan, or Dalton Szymanski, I believe.
Is it 21 or 12?
No, it is 12.
It is 12, yeah. Yeah, so 12, which they don't have, unless they change the jersey on him. I don't know who 12 is. He looks familiar.
It looks familiar. Well, that is halftime. Again, on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. It's Rapid City Stevens leading Harrisburg 30-16 here at Carroll Tire Gym. We are going to take a break. We're going to come back in 1 minute with our halftime show brought to you by Consolidated Construction when we come back on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the association.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our two locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset.
High school basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center.
And we want to welcome you back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium on this Saturday afternoon with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for joining us on this very cold Saturday as we welcome you back indoors for the Consolidated Construction Halftime Show, built by Consolidated Construction. From start to finish, Consolidated pledges a quality experience every step of the way. When it comes to your next big vision and project, work with someone that was born in the Midwest and has ingrained their business into this community. That's Consolidated Construction at onecalltobuild.com. Here at halftime, Rapid City Stevens leading Harrisburg 30-16. The Raiders led 13-10 at the end of the first quarter, and then the Raiders outscore the Tigers 17-6. And we just saw some timely shooting there by the Raiders. They worked the ball really nicely inside to both Dylan Szymanski and Jess Christensen. They combined for 10 points. Seth Paugh came off the bench, has hit some big buckets, but really a nice effort by the Raiders in this first half.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And if you're going to take the 1,000-foot view of kind of what's going on here at the moment, it is literally two things. It is the shooting percentage by Harrisburg, and it's the intensity level by the Raiders. That is what's going on right now. The Tigers have gotten some shots off there, but some of them they're just not going to where they need to. Just it's been a kind of in general across the weekend. If you look at the broad spectrum of it, it's just not been a good shooting effort for them all weekend. 26% right now from the floor, not super good for Harrisburg. That's their big story. The Raiders are matching, like we said, matching that intensity for the Tigers. They have 21 rebounds on that. Again, they have a size disadvantage against this Harrisburg Tiger team, but they are still working hard where the big guys are there, and instead he uses his athleticism, gets up there, muscles the ball away, and gets the huge rebound. And it is the shooting percentage of the Tigers. That's the big picture.
Absolutely. Again, here at halftime, the Raiders by 14 over Harrisburg, 30-16 in boys basketball action. Let's look at today's box score brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's most innovative event center, featuring the best courts and space to host multiple games. The Box is the premier youth sports venue, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. For the visiting Harrisburg Tigers, they're led at the break by Caden Anderson with 6 points, all in the first quarter. 5 points for Nolan Kroll, 3 points for David Doe, and 2 points for Aiden Costain. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, very balanced scoring with 6 players in the scoring column, led by Seth Paugh with 9 points, 6 points for Jess Christensen, 4 points each for Dylan Szymanski, Caleb Brooks, and Minka Hawley. And I was thinking this is probably in just 2 possessions. Costain went 1 for 7. Couldn't happen. It's kind of the epitome of what's kind of going on there. Not too many turnovers. The rebounds, similar. The Raiders, a bit more of an advantage on that. Not shooting a lot from the perimeter. That has to change. We talked about that at halftime yesterday. It needed to happen in the second half for them against the Cobblers. Only 1 of 9 from downtown. The Raiders are 2 of 8 from downtown. Harrisburg can shoot the ball. They can absolutely light up this auditorium and totally change the direction of this game in a heartbeat. So the Raiders have to, again, keep that intensity up if they expect to walk away with a win this afternoon. So let's take a look at our coaching adjustments. As the Harrisburg Tigers, they've already made their way back to the court to warm up for the second half. The Raiders will be out here momentarily. We're looking at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. Lee is ready to help you and your family put a game plan together to secure your financial future. Don't wait. Take action today and Google Lee Cruz, New York Life. Dean, what do you see as far as any changes here in the second half?
Well, I think we'll talk about Harrisburg first. I think they just need to keep pace. I think they have the advantage inside. They've got the players. They've got the drive ability. Now the Raiders have athletes, but I think there's just an advantage more for the Tigers falling, and I think for Harrisburg to just keep rolling along with what they've had. For the Raiders, it's right exactly what Coach Stabner said. Keep that ball moving. They like to get it. They like to stand. They kind of start to point out, wait for somebody, run a screen, and then that's it. They are so much better, although more turnovers happen in this scenario, but they are so much better when they move the ball, cut, move, and then all of a sudden the defense shifts, opens up a hole somewhere, and then they find a shot or a cutter underneath. So they need to keep the ball moving, and they 100% need to keep that intensity up. It has to stay at that level. Please don't leave it back in the locker room. Get back out here, take this 30 points, use it to feed your energy, and keep rolling with it.
Absolutely. So, again, that's our coaching adjustments brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. And that's going to wrap up our Consolidated Construction halftime show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City with 11:50 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person, like Lance at Van Zee Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Van Zee Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Physio.
And again, we want to welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and recreation with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wicker. Zone rebound. That shot is no good, but he is going to be heading to the free throw line.
Again, you can see the look on Costain's face. I think it's the same look that McKinley from the Lady Tigers team had. It's like, what do I got to do to get this ball to fall in?
And that free throw by Aiden Costain is no good. He's a 3. He does make this free throw. That gives him 3 points this afternoon. It is now 30-17. It is a 13-point Raider lead as they go from right to left. Same starters for both teams. Here's Daylor Segrist. Gets it to Szymanski. Szymanski backs his way in. He feeds it to Brooks. Brooks stumbles a little bit, gets the ball to Segrist. He'll shoot the 3. That one off the mark, no good. It's going to be Tapp with the rebound. Outlet pass goes to Anderson. Anderson back to Tapp. Left side to get it to Larson. Larson out to Krall. Now to Anderson on the right wing. Anderson bounce pass to Costain. Costain baseline jumper, no good. Holly with those long arms able to get the rebound. Gets the ball or the outlet pass to Segrist. Segrist works his way into the front court. They go to J.D. Green. Right side bounce pass to Brooks. To Segrist in the corner. Back to Brooks. Man-to-man defense by the Tigers. Left side, they go to Holly. Holly to Szymanski. Szymanski back to Holly in that left corner.
I think the Tigers, as Mika Hawley cashes in from downtown, I think the Tigers went to a zone defense. I saw Seegers over in the corner, and they just kind of left him there.
That's 7 points now for Minka Hawley, and it's 33-17. Here's Tapp. Out to Crawl. He's going to fire the three and answers at the other end.
Can't lose him.
I know you said how deadly he can be from long range.
Oh, just in a heartbeat. All of a sudden they start casting threes.
Here's Hawley now driving. Bounce pass to Szymanski underneath the basket. He falls down. Hawley chases down the loose ball. They get it to Green. Back to Segrist. Down to 18 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time to set something up for the Raiders as they lead by 13.
Sit right there.
Here's Segrist. Drives the floater. No good. Tapp grabs the rebound. Outlet pass goes to Anderson. Anderson to Crawl in the front court on the near side. Gets it down to Costain. Costain drives, puts up the shot as he hits the deck, and that's going to be a foul on Szymanski. I believe that is his second.
I thought Segrist back in that last possession there. You get him coming off of a screen, getting him over the top. He's got a quick release. I thought he had an opportunity to cash it in, and instead he decided to try to drive it in. He's okay at driving, but I think no doubt he is a shooter.
Aiden Costain, the 6'6 senior, misses the first free throw. The second one is good, so he's shooting 50%. 2 for 4 this afternoon. It's the Raiders 33, the Harrisburg Tigers 21 on the State Farm scoreboard. 5.5 minutes to go. Here's Szymanski. The reverse is good. A nice pass from J.D. Green to Dylan Szymanski.
And even a better move underneath as he had the defender right there. He stepped through, did the reverse.
35-21, the Raiders by 14. Here's Stellan Larson, the basketball, to Tapp in the corner. Tapp drives into the right corner. They get it to Anderson. He drives the baseline. The floater is good for Caden Anderson. He has 8 points in the contest. Raiders back the other way. They get it to J.D. Green. Segrist to Green. Bounce pass to Brooks. Brooks puts up the shot. He's going to get the basket +1.
Oh, the up and under move by
Brooks. Great job. This is kind of, obviously that play works. I'm not going to knock that play, but we talked about the coaching adjustments. You got to make a move. You got to keep the ball moving. Right there, they had everybody over on that side. Segrist over on the far side. Move the ball around, make that defense adjust. 7 points now for Caleb Brooks. Here's driving is Costain. That shot is no good. Brooks gets the rebound. Again, a 15-point lead, and the Raiders trying to add to that. Trying not to ease up against the Harrisburg Tigers. They know they can't win her. Segrist back to Hawley. Top of the key. Here will verse. Get it out, no good. The rebound into the hands of Nolan Crawl. 4 minutes remaining here in the third. Crawl in the front court, left side. They work it to Larson, who drives the baseline. Larson to Tapp, out to Anderson. Anderson, right side to Larson. Now the bounce pass to Costain. Costain in the paint against Szymanski. And a travel on Aiden Costain.
I'm going to tell you, Dylan Szymanski right now is playing absolutely amazing because he's, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He's forcing turnovers on him, just taking advantage.
Here's Hawley. Turnaround jumper is no good. The ball is tapped around. And I think we'll get a whistle against the Raiders. That will go on Caleb Brooks. That will be his second. Third team foul this quarter. J.D. Green will exit as Seth Paugh comes in the ball game. Seth Paugh was a spark in the first half. Here's Green. Gets the ball to Costain. Now left side to Larson. Larson out to Crawl. Crawl hands the ball off to Gibbon. Gibbon, left side. They get it over to Larson. Larson backs his way in, puts up the shot. No good. The ball is tapped out. Gibbon comes away with it. Gibbon, pull-up jumper is short. No good. And the ball is going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Hawley. Actually, it was Larson who knocked it off of Hawley.
Yeah, he gets credit with a touch, but he touched him really hard with that ball.
Just a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it here. Again, on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 3:06 to go in the third quarter with the Raiders from Rapid City Stevens leading Harrisburg 38-23. Let's check in with some other scores real quickly. Again, in girls basketball, it was Rapid City Central picking up their first win of the season as they defeat Yankton 61-49 was the final there. Also, a game you heard right here on Fox Sports Radio. It was Rapid City Stevens defeating Harrisburg 60-47. With 4 minutes left in the fourth, Rapid City Central on top of Yankton 50-37. What a nice little run the Cobblers could put together. They have games this week against Douglas and Sturgis, so a chance for them to maybe put a little streak together here.
Yeah, absolutely trying to get themselves in a position. They haven't updated the standings, so we don't know exactly where they were. I think coming in today, I suspected that the Cobblers were ahead of the Raiders as far as seed points go.
It is Harrisburg basketball coming out of that timeout. 3 minutes left in the third. Holly knocks the ball out of quick as Christensen and Minka Holly. Here's Dior. Left side, this is David Doe, drives the baseline, had the ball. It basically hit off his face and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Brooks knocked it out of his hand and it said ricocheted off his face.
So the Raiders come away with it. We're seeing some pressure applied by the Tigers. Segrist gets into the front court, double-teamed, passes to Pa. Pa to Brooks. Brooks drives, puts up the shot, no good. Coming away with it is going to be number 10, Jacob Graff.
Stabner wants a foul on him there.
Graff takes a step back, gets the ball to Doe. Cross-court pass, they go Nior. Now to number 4 that's checked in. I got to check my roster there. Isaiah Tapp, his shot is no good. The ball is loose, and the Raiders come away with it.
That's crazy. Brooks is the one who started that, knocked the ball right out of Doe's hand, and then collected it right along the baseline with just an inch left to go.
Taylor Segrist drives, feeds the ball to Christensen. Christensen puts up the shot, a little too strong, no good. Graff the rebound and a whistle against the Raiders.
Coach Stabner's like, what are we doing? Obviously, we didn't get that. They did a great job. It was a great feed, Christensen. It was just too low, and he couldn't come up with it right in the midst of a bunch of arms. But once they got it, hey, save your fouls for when we need them.
Here's Jacob Graff in the backcourt. Works his way into the front court. Left side, they work it over to Nior.
No call out of it.
The ball is loose. Seth Pa comes away with it. Pa tried to get into the front court, but lost the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, he had two players right there. You got to be able to control it somehow. He would obviously, hindsight 2020 would have been a better off to just, slow it down. The Raiders are more of a half-court possession type team anyway, but again, just couldn't handle it, trying to keep it going.
Looks like number 4 is Cole Court, a foul as he tried to prevent the easy basket.
Yeah, Holly trying to behind the back dribble.
That is the first on Doe, second team foul. Still 38-20. Christensen back to Marcus. Marcus hands the ball to Holly. Holly out to Segrist. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Segrist to Holly. Back to Segrist. They tried to get it to Christensen. He picks it.
Christensen's a tall guy, right? And they're trying to bounce it in to try to get through the defenders, but the bounce is so low that Christensen has to try to pick it up under his knee, and by that time, it's not delivered where it needs to be, and he can't get up to where it was a great play. It just needed to be a better pass.
J.D. Green will trigger it in. Gets the ball in, wide open for Lucas Marcus for 3.
Oh, he's been such a spark off the bench. I love it when he comes in the game.
40 with the basketball to Doe. Doe out front, they get it to Quaker. Quaker left side. Here's Quaker for 3. That one is short, no good. Doe gets the offensive rebound, and he is going to get hammered.
How did Doe get that rebound? There were 3 North Carolina blue jerseys. I'm going to use that one. 3 jerseys right there. Doe gets right in between them, and he's the only one who actually got a hand on the ball. Everyone else, I don't know if they just didn't see the ball. I don't know. It was just kind of another enigma.
Marcus with his fourth team foul, actually fifth team foul. We have David Doe at the free throw line. He makes the first. He's 2 for 3 this afternoon. All the starters out of the game for the Harrisburg Tigers. Now Caden Anderson is checked back in.
I was going to say, yeah, he's not allowed to sub in. Now he is, now that they accidentally blew the horn.
So Dylan Simonsky checks in, replacing Seth Paugh. Still waiting for David Doe. They'll finally give him the ball here. That free throw is no good. 4 points in the ball game for Doe. We're down to 15 seconds here in the third. Green right side to Holly. Holly back to Green. The ball into the front court. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers.
That was wise. Looked like Holly wanted to grab it, make a play out of it, but he knew it was their ball. It's like, okay, I'll let it go. At least got it across the timeline because time was ticking.
Segrist will trigger it in. He goes to Holly. 5 seconds now to Segrist. Segrist.
Yeah, that should have been the Segrist shot there. He's got that quick release. Get it to him, get the shot off. That's what you want. You had some time left that you could get a rebound and put it back.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, we played 3 quarters of basketball, and the Raiders lead the 4th-ranked Harrisburg Tigers. 41-24 is your score. We're back with fourth quarter action in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM 11. Back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast booth, sales, service, and recreation with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Thanks for joining us on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Rapid City Stevens Raiders just 1 quarter away from evening their record at 8-8 on the season.
I know we still got a whole quarter to go yet, but the Harrisburg Tigers 3 times have been held under 40 points, or just above 40 points, under 50.
The miss by the Harrisburg Tigers. Here's Marcus Lucas in the front. Or Lucas Marcus, I'm sorry.
Something like that.
To Green, back to Marcus. Mark Brooks. Raiders trying to chew up some time. They tried to feed it inside to Lucas Marcus. Instead, it's going to go out of bounds.
Well, they're taking too much time. It isn't that.
Here's Gibbon, the basketball. Creighton Gibbon out to Larson, back to Gibbon. He'll hand the ball to Krall. Krall in the
we're going the other way.
And an offensive foul on Nolan Krall, and he looks in some pain there.
Yeah, I kind of thought he had plenty of time to stop and pull up, but instead he kind of rolls along, kind of cut right in.
Got up slowly. It's going to be number 2 on Krall. First team foul this quarter for the Tigers. 7:07 to go in the fourth. Krall is going to take a seat after getting hit there. Actually, not really getting hit, but taking a hard shot down or falling to the floor there. Here's Marcus at the other end. That 3 is no good. Rebound grabbed by Larson. Larson in the front court. Bounce pass to Costain. Costain kicks it outside. Doe, left corner. Gibbon for 3. And it's good for Creighton Gibbon.
Boy, deep in the corner there. Again, we know they can start cashing them from downtown.
Here's Simonsky. He gets the ball in the low post and misses the easy layup.
Oh, the big one. I know that frustrates the heck out of Stadner. He's like, we got to be able to finish at the rim. He says it time and time again. And just those missed opportunities.
And Simonsky picks up his 3rd personal, so he's about that one. You missed the shot and you get the foul. Caden Anderson in the front court. Doe left side to Larson. Larson drives in the paint. Puts up the reverse. It's good for Stellan Larson. Just his first basket of the ball game. 41-29, the Raiders by a dozen. Holly to Segrist. He's double-teamed. And we're going to get a timeout by the Raiders. it seems like the Harrisburg Tigers, they're getting some momentum right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything. We talked about the Raiders. You got to be able to match the intensity of the Tigers. The Tigers just upped their game. As soon as this fourth quarter started, they're like, okay, guys, we are down. We need to pick it up and start making things happen. The Raiders have to be able to match it, okay? And being able to take care of the basketball is probably going to be the biggest one.
It's a 5-0 run to start this fourth quarter for the Harrisburg Tigers as they trail 41-29 with 6:09 remaining in the fourth quarter, but still plenty of time left.
Oh, yeah, there is. And like we said, back to the numbers game, against Yankton, they scored only 48 points. They got a win on that one. They also got the win when they only scored 47 points against Douglas. So two low outputs. They're going to get the feeling that might be somewhere right in there tonight. It will be two big things could happen here tonight. Raiders holding them under 40 or around 40, and B, getting the win, obviously. They'd rather have that one more.
So the teams both come back onto the court. Real quickly, a scoring update on the State Farm scoreboard. The Rapid City Central Cobblers improved to 7-9 on the season as they get the win over Yankton, 58-50.
Yeah, it looks like Yankton kind of started to come back there, but the Cobblers get the big weekend sweep.
Here's Caleb Brooks in the low post. Shot's no good. The ball is loose. J.D. Green comes away with it. Green top of the key, right side to Segrist. Segrist wants to drive on Gibbon. Instead, he'll go to Brooks. Left side, they go to Green on the wing. J.D. Green out to Holly.
We're talking about they're just stagnant there.
Over to Brooks on that right wing, back out to Green. Green decides to drive. Tough shot there by J.D. Green. He thought there was contact. Instead, the Harrisburg Tigers come away with it. They go to Gibbon in the right corner, back to Anderson. Cross-court pass to Doe. David Doe drives, puts up the shot. He gets the basket and one.
Right on, a little mismatch there. J.D. Green got the foul that time. He's going to head to the bench. He just walked right over the bench. He knew he was going to have to sit down. But, hey, it was a great effort, making that drive back on the other end. But, again, the Raiders, they're like trying to point out, trying to run a play. You know, when you're going to run a play, people got to start doing something. Instead, they just kind of stand there.
Doe misses the free throw. Holly gets the rebound. At the other end, here's Segrist. So we're going to get a foul
to the court. Doe gets the foul on that one, but again, they're going to try to force you into the sideline and try to get you to turn the ball over.
Here's Taylor Segrist. Segrist picks up his dribble, gets it back to Paw. Seth Paw being guarded by Larson. Now the ball is loose, picked up by Doe. Doe in the front court goes coast to coast. I thought maybe it is a travel.
Yeah,
I thought there was, looked like
Coach Langerock does not like it. Lucas Marcus was right there. He wants a shove by Marcus, but no, that was a great play. Marcus was right there. The official had the great angle on that.
Now the ball is tapped again. It's going to be into the hands of Holly. Holly gets away from some trouble. They get it to Paw in the front court. Bounce pass to Marcus. His shot is no good. And it's going to be Crawl who comes away with it. This game not over yet. It's a 10-point Raider lead, 41-31. 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Caden Anderson. Right side, they go to Larson. He'll fire the three, and it's good for Stellan Larson.
There it is.
41-34. Just a 7-point lead. Marcus gets into the front court. The bounce pass to Holly. The reverse is no good at the other end. The Raiders missing some easy baskets here.
And again, being able to finish at the rim, it's been a plague all year for the Raiders.
Here's Larson out to Anderson.
He got that step around, and Paw just tried to hang with him a little bit.
That is the first on Paw, third team foul. Stripe yesterday. Makes that free throw. Has 9 points in the ball game.
Green's coming back in for Lucas Marcus.
Here's the second free throw attempt. It is good for Anderson. It is now just a 5-point lead. It is a 12-0 run to start this fourth quarter, and then another turnover.
And that's what they can do. That's, we talked about being able to keep the ball movement without turning the ball over. That was one of our halftime adjustments there. And, right now the Raiders they're just struggling. It's the intensity level is moved into pressure, and the Raiders are just not handling it.
The Tigers, on a 12-0 run for the Raiders. The Raiders led this ball game. Are heading into the fourth quarter. They led 41-24, and now it's just a 5-point lead. So if you're the Raiders now, you got to be careful. You had such a great lead, a chance to knock off one of the top 4 teams in the state. And now that lead is getting rather slim.
Yeah, it's evaporating quickly, and we knew it could with the 3-point shooting of the Tigers. And again, just the pressure. And the Raiders are kind of caught off guard. Now you need the ball handlers. They got to be able, they work on this in practice. You got to be able to handle that press and who goes where. And I think you move the ball from one place to another. And for the Raiders, that's what they need. They need to be able to quickly get it to a spot, pass quickly, get them to shift quickly, and be sure-handed with it.
Puts it in for 2. Here's J.D. Green, just a 3-point Raider lead. Caleb Brooks lost the ball, able to regain it, gets it over into the front court to Pa, and Pa misses the layup. Green to Pa, and Pa can't finish.
That's my count. At least 3 point-blank shots that the Raiders have missed here in this fourth quarter.
The Raiders again scoreless so far in the fourth. Here's Nolan Krall. Krall drives in the paint. Short jumper, no good. Segrist the rebound. Segrist, double team, gets the ball to Brooks. Brooks gets into the front court. Brooks hands it back to Segrist. The Raiders desperately looking for some points. They go to Brooks on the wing. Brooks to Segrist. Now Segrist drives hard to the basket. They wave off the basket, which Coach Stabner does not like.
Right,
the whistle before.
It was clear. It was out here more as Segrist was trying to get through it.
So Segrist will trigger it in from the right baseline. Segrist to Holly. As the Raiders lead 41-38. Here's Holly to Pa. Pa now dribbles to the top of the key. Pa having trouble. Now it's going to be taken away as Pa got into some trouble there.
Yeah, and Stabner obviously doesn't like it either.
Here's Caden Anderson being hounded by Pa out at midcourt. Foul.
The Raiders right now just absolutely falling apart as a team. We talked about this in the pregame show. As a team, they've got talent, but they can't play together as a team consistently throughout the game when it needs, and the game is on the line. This is when they need it, and right now they're not doing it.
Larson gets the ball into Anderson. 1:50 to play in this contest. Here's Gibbon, a 3 from the corner. Shot's no good. Segrist comes away with it. He'll push the ball into the front court for the Raiders. Segrist to Brooks at midcourt. Brooks back to Segrist. And Coach Stabner wants a timeout.
Yeah, there's so much pressure in the face of obviously beyond the perimeter. There's so much pressure. They can't really set up what he's looking for. He's trying to relay possession
by the Harrisburg Tigers, a team that is 13-3 on the season. For the Raiders, they are 7-8. They would love to even their record at 500, but just when things looked good entering the fourth quarter, then all of a sudden you stick it in hot water and the truth comes out at what it is. Not to cross sports or anything, but that's what happened in the Super Bowl. Is the defensive line for the Eagles exposed the weakness of the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. Same situations happening, able to handle the ball, not the turnovers necessarily, but in general, handling the basketball when you have it, they're suspect with it, and it's being exposed. Brooks gets the ball into Segrist, being guarded by Anderson. He'll hand the ball to Green. J.D. Green now top of the key. Bounce pass to the elbow. They get it over to Brooks. Brooks, and here's a steal by Kroll. He goes coast to coast and gets the layup. 41-40, the Raiders by a point. A minute 14 to go in this ballgame. The Raiders have not scored in the fourth quarter. Instead, they go back to Brooks. Brooks hands the ball to Segrist. Segrist wants to drive, backs his way in on Anderson. Now they go to the lead with 42 seconds remaining. Here's Anderson into the front court. Anderson gets the ball. Here's Anderson driving the scoop shot. It's good for Anderson, and the Tigers take the lead with 21 seconds to play in the contest.
Coach Langrock's going to set things up here. How about Anderson? He comes out on fire. He almost disappears through the rest of the game, and now he steps up, and what a great drive and finish at the hoop. So the shot clock is off. The Raiders will have the basketball, and it's 42-41. Again, it's an 18-0 run by the Harrisburg Tigers in this fourth quarter as the Raiders have been shut out. And again, they'll have their last second shot here to try to possibly win this ball game. This is eerily like last night's game here. Obviously, it is tied then, but the score is very similar, and the Raiders have a last-second chance. Now, they still have 2 timeouts to work with, so he's going to bring something in. He's going to see what's working, what the setup is. He's got to get the ball in his hands. That last possession, it wasn't bad, the shot by Paul.
Segrist, J.D. Green, Minka Hawley, and Seth Pa on the court. Down to 20 seconds now. Here's Taylor Segrist. Segrist back to Brooks. Brooks gets into the front court. Brooks
out, set things up again. Now, they can't shoot it with nothing left. Okay, we saw this earlier. Was it the overtime game against Jefferson where they needed 2 scores? They didn't get a shot off until the ball didn't go through the hoop until there was 5 seconds left. You needed 2 scores. Right now, they only need 1 score. But you can't launch if you get Hawley. If you get a screen and you get Hawley coming off somewhere or Brooks posting up down low, that's probably your best bet to get that one better looking shot.
J.D. Green will trigger it in with 9.5 seconds left. He gets it to Segrist. Segrist drives into trouble. The ball comes out of his hands. It's stolen by the...
And again, you had enough time left. Segrist got the ball, and he tried to force it up. I'm sure Statement said, we don't want a buzzer beater. We're going to get it up a little bit sooner than that. But I think he had a little bit more time of a kick. They all collapsed on him right away. He tried to drive in and try to make the play happen.
Nolan Fall misses the free throw. Still just a 1-point game. 42-41, the Tigers. By 1, here's the second free throw. That one is good.
He's going to call a timeout here. Again, he's got to set things up here. He just needs a 2 to tie it.
Insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 43-41. It is Harrisburg leading Rapid City Stevens.
Wow, and that's what you expect from a top team in the state that comes in, and frustrating loss for them yesterday. Didn't shoot tremendous. Shot real poorly in the first half today. Now they came out. It took them actually finally that last quarter is when they finally came out and got on fire there.
So J.D. Green will trigger it in. Final or last effort for the Raiders here as they trail 43-41. Green will trigger it in. The ball knocked out of bounds. It will stay Raider basketball.
It was the setup. That's what they had. Hawley. They did this before. Hawley back at the free throw line, at their own free throw line. Brooks at the midcourt. Hawley's going to come up, get a catch. He just bounced it off a throw.
Trying to get it in, stolen by Larson, and that's the ball game. The Raiders get held scoreless in the fourth quarter, and the Tigers come back to win this game 43-41. for the second straight night. Just the Raiders in disbelief as they suffer another heartbreaking loss.
Yeah, absolutely. It just exposes the Raiders when pressure comes. They can't handle the basketball when they need to. But let's go back. I counted 3. I'm sure there's probably more if you go back in videos. 3 of those, quote, point-blank shots finishing at the rim. I know Coach Stabner has said it time and time again. We got to be able to finish at the rim. It reared its ugly head here today. And heartbreaking isn't even the word for it.
This was just not the weekend for the Raider boys as they lose this afternoon 43-41. Again, that's your final score on the State Farm scoreboard. Insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. We are going to step aside for 1 minute. The Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show coming up next in 1 minute right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build. Melissa Christensen with Engel and Volkers today.
Agriculture is by the farmers and ranchers we serve. Our customers have a voice in how we work at Farm Credit Services of America.
Listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Physio.
And we want to welcome you back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium on this Saturday evening with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Welcome to the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support our local teams, and 43-41. The Raiders, though, heading into the fourth quarter, they had the Tigers on the ropes as they really had this game in control, leading 41-24 heading into the fourth quarter, but they were outscored 19-0. That's just a tough loss for any team.
Yeah, absolutely. 19 player, team, whatever that can step up and make the plays that they need to at the right time. That's exactly what Harrisburg did in that fourth quarter. They changed things up. They put the pressure on the Raiders. The Raiders just couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle the ball. Missed a couple of easy shots there to make it happen, and just almost like a meltdown. It was like Chernobyl almost. You don't get outscored 19-0 in a quarter, especially in a game when you're well ahead there. When you, like you said, had them on the ropes, and it's just been time and time again for the Raiders. I remember going back to the Spearfish game. They had a chance to. They was on the other side. They were up, and they gave up the easy shot to Spearfish for that win. They couldn't convert in the triple overtime. It was against Jefferson, and I've seen several games where they were just right there. But when it came down to you need a guy that can make a play. You need a team that can come through and make the play at the right time. It just hasn't happened. It's been that way all season for the Raiders, and unfortunately, it's going to continue. And until they change some things heading in, they're going to end up with a very unfortunate matchup for the Sodak 16. It might even be this team.
And the Raiders lose 43-41 to the Harrisburg Tigers. Let's take a look at our box score brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's most innovative event center featuring the best courts and space to host multiple games. The Box is the premier youth sports venue, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. For the visiting Harrisburg Tigers, they were led by Caden Anderson with 12 points, had a big basket there in the fourth quarter, as well as hit 2 free throws yesterday in the Cobbler game, but did come in and get 8 points this afternoon. We had 5 points for Stellan Larseth Pa with 9 points, all coming in the first half. 7 points each for Minka Holly and Caleb Brooks. 6 points each for Dylan Simonsky and Jess Christensen. points, but the way they guarded him, he just did not get a lot of looks, though, and a chance to get a lot of shots off.
No, and he did kind of a lot of looking around, looking for other options or something, a teammate to help out or whatever. When we see Daylor Segrist at his height, he is aggressive. He is coming off of a screen. He's got a quick release. He catches, he shoots. It's that type of thing. That last play that was drawn up, get to him and have him drive the lane in there, that's just not his play. If he's going to do that, it's going to be a kick for him. He drove right into a triple team and tried to raise up and hit a jumper. It looked ugly from the inception on it. He needed to find someone else or get him coming off a screen around on the perimeter. He is a shooter. He isn't. His forte is not driving the basketball by any means, although he can do that. And when he is aggressive and just going after it right away, that's
1 for 9.
He was 1 for 9, 1 for 7 from 3-point land. So, you need him to step up. We talked about it, kind of the big three to step up to make plays tonight, and they almost got away even with them not doing it.
And both teams shot 33% in the ball game, and both teams really similar from three-point range. The Harrisburg Tigers 27%, the Raiders 29%. Rebounding-wise, Harrisburg out-rebounded the Raiders 34-30. It was Daylor Segrist, though, with the 3 points to go along with 10 rebounds for the Raiders.
Well, and probably the big story, obviously except for the kind of meltdown because of the heated pressure that Harrisburg put in that fourth quarter, is the inversion of their shooting percentages. Harrisburg shot 26% in the first half, 43% in the second half. The Raiders 42% in the first half, and only 21% in the second half, including, we've storied already, the big goose egg in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. They get outscored 19-0 as they fall 43-41. The Raiders do to the Harrisburg Tigers. By Highmark Credit Union, Highmark offers Spirit debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. And every time you use the card, Highmark makes a donation back to that school. Show your school spirit and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com. This is our Highmark highlight of the game. Here's Holly, left side to Seth Paw on the wing. Paw gets the ball to Holly, now to Segrist. He launches the three. It's no good. Caden Anderson chases down the loose ball. And here's Holly, who gets the steal. It's a 2-on-1. Paw gets the layup at the other end.
Great job, 2-on-1. Minka Holly over to Paw. Paw's like, they're going to shade over to Holly. I'm going to take it.
And that's 9 points now for Seth Paw. And again, the fast break there, the bucket by Seth Paw. That was our Highmark highlight of the game. Again, he finished with 9 points, all coming in that first half. Lastly, let's take a look at we'll go to Dean with our player of the game.
Well, obviously there were some struggles tonight. Segrist not getting what he wanted. Holly only 7. Brooks only 7. And we talked about the matchup going into the game, and this is what I like, and it wasn't because of the points. Dylan Szymanski had only 6 points tonight, but it wasn't that. It was the fact that what he did to Alden Costain. Costain, 6'6", Szymanski, 6'2". He matched up against him. Costain averages 10 points per game. He went 1 of 11 from the floor, just 1 of 11. So he stepped up. He did his job. Everybody's got their own job. That was his tonight, is to neutralize Costain, and I thought he did a great job of that tonight.
So Dylan Szymanski, our player of the game, for his defensive efforts and how he tried to, or did a good job, I should say, on Aiden Costain of the Tigers. So again, 43-41, Harrisburg defeats Rapid City Stevens. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders boys team, they do have a little less than a week off now. They don't play again till Friday night. Just 3 games remaining, as they do play Rapid City Christian next Friday night. That should be a lot of fun. In fact, that will be a game we'll have for you right here on Fox Sports Radio, Rapid City. But looking forward to next Friday, February 21st, 6:30 and 8. the girls' game first, followed by the boys' game.
Yeah, there's no doubt, with the girls, obviously the Lady Raiders playing really well right now, and with the Christian Comets losing so many players going over to Central and Hill City and I think another place, and then, of course, Hayden Thornton coming over here to the Raiders. And maybe not as well as the Comets were hoping that they would be playing this year, but still very competitive, and they're going to bring it all. And obviously, the whole Thornton story, and then, of course, we're talking about Talia Porter, right on the verge of the all-time Raiders scoring record. That's going to be talked about on Friday night. And then in the boys' game, the Comets are ranked third, Class A in the state. They're playing Viborg Hurley tonight. Then they have Spearfish on Tuesday, and then they come back and play the Raiders. So a big 3-game stretch for the Comets as they get ready to head into they have regions. They don't do their SODAC until after their regions are over with. So heading into that game, and obviously, coming in, playing here, they're flying high. They've got 2 players, I think, just scored their 1,000th point here a week or so ago, and so they're a scoring machine, playing lights out, and their only 2 losses are the 2 teams in front of them. Mm-hmm. So there's no doubt what they will bring to this gym. That's something that the Raiders will have to bring as well. They got to bring that same intensity that we saw the first 3 quarters of the game tonight, coming out, playing hard, playing at that level. They got to be able to match that intensity. I might even just do the pregame right now. That's my keys of the game. Match that intensity that the Comets are going to bring. The boy Raiders are going to need that on Friday.
Absolutely. So that'll be Friday night. But again, our next broadcast will be Tuesday, February 18th. It'll be a boys and girls doubleheader. Spearfish at Rapid City Christian. I will be in Douglas watching the Cobblers, refereeing the Cobbler Patriot game, which I'm excited to do. And but that game between Spearfish and Christian, that's going to be a couple of very good games. Again, 2 teams playing really well. 4 teams all together playing really well. Spearfish coming down. And it's going to be a good contest. All 4 teams are going to have to really bring the intensity that the other teams are bringing in order to get the victory.
Now, really excited. I agree. There's going to be lots of talent to watch Rapid City Christian and Spearfish play, and stay warm.
Absolutely. So, again, that'll wrap up our Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Be sure to join us next Tuesday night. Again, for Spearfish at Rapid City Christian, we'll have games at 6 and 7:30 right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Real quickly, some scores to pass along. Again, the Rapid City Central Lady Cobblers, they get their first win of the year as they defeat Yankton 61-49. In the boys' cup was Rapid City Central over Yankton 58-50. And then in our contest this afternoon, in the girls' game, 30 points for Talia Porter as Rapid City Stevens defeats Harrisburg 60-47. And in the second game, Rapid City Stevens, they have a big lead going into the fourth quarter, but it's Harrisburg who comes from behind to defeat Rapid City Stevens 43-41 in the girls' game. Again, we want to thank Matt Kearney back at the station for everything that he does each and every broadcast. And again, this will wrap us up from here at Carroll Hire Gymnasium on the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. This has been high school basketball action on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also online at foxsportsrapidcity.com and GoRaidersLive.com. For Dean Gurr, for Matt Kearney, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Stay warm. Have a great rest of your weekend if you have a long weekend, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday night. But until then, you've been listening to high school basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City. Have a great night, everyone.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Community banking should be kind of personal. That's because there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to you. Fortunately, Security First Bank gets that. And that means you get more, too, like online tools, in-person expertise, and tailored banking solutions for your family or business. So, from balanced budgets to bucket lists, we're the bank for all you're doing. Security First Bank.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Dylan Kessler today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.